What's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the Santander multi-state settlement. Got some updates that just came in. I went to their website. It's the Santander multi-state settlement.com website. This was set up by the administrator, and what they're doing now, because everybody's running into this problem with where the IRS is saying, hey, you have this additional income that you did not report, or we are requiring you to report it, and it's because they're sending out 1099-Cs, cancellation of debt tax forms. Man, on one side they get you on one side, and then they got to try to get you on the other side when you're leaving. Just in case you don't know, 1099-C debt cancellation of debt tax form is when a debt collector or original creditor cancels out a debt. They're not going to be able to sue you or do anything for it. But what they do is they put it on as additional income to you. And so what happens is that you get this form saying that, you know that you made 50, $60,000 of income, but now they wrote Santander sent a 1099-C to the IRS for $15,000. They get the complete tax write-off, but you get stuck with having $15,000 of additional income. That's what they're actually, in essence, claiming. So what they've done here, because people have been saying, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? Um, they linked over to a website to give you some help on what to do with the 1099-C. But before we do that, let's go over some things here. It's saying here, Santander, settlement, and the state attorneys general cannot give you tax advice. That's why they put that there. They had their scam warning for people claiming, that they can get you included in the settlement, which is not possible. You could have where you could make a demand based on how you felt that you were wrong, but people that were actually included in the settlement, that is a predetermined list, quote, and I put that in quotes, a predetermined list, because I'm going to show you something below here that kind of actually contradicts what they're saying. Then it said here, please know consumers had until March 22nd, 2021 to update their contact information or select an electronic payment option at this website. After March 22nd, no more updates will be taken. Next thing here is uh, we do not know the date by which eligible consumers can expect a resolution payment from the settlement administrator. Please be patient and check the website for updates. And then it says if you did not receive a postcard or email of the resolution, you can still contact the settlement administrator at this number. That's where it is confusing, because they're number one stating that if you're not eligible, that you will, let's see here, let me just go back. It says that be cautious of any phone calls or mail information claiming that you need said information for settlement. But and I can understand that, because they're trying to say that you're going to be contacted if you are part of the settlement. But then down here, it says that if you did not receive a postcard or email note about notice of resolution eligibility, you can still contact settlement administrator. And that's what we told people to do. Well, at the time, they wasn't even accepting any calls, but you can send in that demand to be included in the settlement based on what the 34 state attorney generals reached with the settlement. And if you were outside of those states, we said you should still send a demand letter based on what they had included in the settlement. And let's just go right here, because they had some stuff in here on the way that they were going to have to proceed. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Um, let's see here. Maybe that wasn't a part here. They had a part in here where they admitted to where the dealers were actually doing some stuff wrong. Maybe it's at the bottom here. They kind of took that. They took that page away. It used to be here on this main page where they stated that the dealers, where they were actually doing what they call power booking, where they were inflating the vehicles with saying tires and service agreements and all types of stuff, and also changing individuals' applications where they were saying that they had a certain amount of income where they would not normally be able to qualify for the car. Now, you might be saying that, well, they got me into the car. That still doesn't matter when it comes to them making a loan and they put information that was not true on your application and you did not have any part in that. And so people can, even if you were not within those states, you can still make a demand that you would want to have your loan either modified, which is what most people were able to do, was to get them modified based on what they had claimed had happened at the dealer. And, some people were able to get settlements also uh, done by what they had said uh, had happened when they went to get their loan. And also another thing was based on this internal score. People were not notified that they were using an internal score to approve you for the loan, not your regular credit score. Reason why that's very important is because you don't know if you would have qualified somewhere else. If the car dealer just said, "Hey, we got you approved," but they got you approved with an internal score, other creditors and other lenders for automobiles, they don't use Santander's internal score. So they were probably just taking your loan to that. Now, I'm not saying that they did, but more than likely, with what the way that this was going on, they had this internal score system and they were approving people. So it could kind of make all of the car dealers move people over instead of sending them to other lenders. They were just like, hey, Santander's going to approve them because they have their own internal scoring system to approve people. And it says right here, consumers will not know their internal score, but they were using an internal score system. No matter what, when you're getting a loan, you have uh, uh, they have to notify you of your credit score, no matter what. But because they were using this internal score, you people were not notified of this internal score, and due to the settlement resolution, they said that that was something that was not legal for them to do or was not right for them to do uh, because everyone does have a right to know how they determined that you were qualified for the loan. So now let's go back, and they put this link here to help people out with cancellation of debt. So they got this taxpayer advocacy service, and it says cancellation of debt. So just so you know, if you owe a debt to someone who cancels or forgives all or some of the debt, you're you're treated as having received income for income tax purposes, and you may have to pay taxes on that income. So now here's some things that you need to know. A debt includes debt you're fully liable for, like credit card debt, debts for other properties, and it has a list here of foreclosure, repossession, voluntarily returning a property to the lender, you abandon a property, or because of a loan modification, they can write off that debt. So this is they what they do is they send you a 1099-C form, and they send that to the IRS. They send that to you. Now here's what you can do. And I'm not giving you tax advice. That's why I tell people, please sit down with a tax preparer. They should know how to do this. And you can also go and download this form 982, because what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to see what exceptions and exclusions you'll have. And it basically what it comes down to is that you want to not have to pay due to some type of insolvency that you might have. And it'll explain it in more detail. And you can get this, it doesn't matter what type of debt it was. And you can see here, it can say even for student loans, uh, an inheritance, just different types forms that someone may send that canceled the debt or that you may have received some type of income and you don't want to have to pay taxes on it because, I mean, it can put you in a bad situation. And you can see here that they have some exclusions that's pretty high, up to $2 million and up to $1 million if uh, you know, uh, let's see here, qualified principal of residence indebtedness. So you can read here to see what you might qualify for. I'm not sure. Maybe you have $1 million in property, but you want to still see if you can get that excluded. So here's the form, IRS form 982. You can either get it reduced or you can get it waived 100%. So let's go into how this will affect you. Different types of debt may have different tax treatments. For example, if a debt is secured by property and the lender takes the property to fully or partially satisfy the debt, you're treated as having sold that property. Man, that's crazy. You're treated as being sold that property. The gain or loss from such sale is separate from any cancellation of debt income that you may need to include on your tax refund return. So you can see why you might have to sit down with someone to see how it will affect you. Because I mean, to lose a property and still have to maybe pay some sort of taxes, that doesn't seem like it's a fair um, thing that could happen. But it could potentially happen. Let's see here. And then it says, I file bankruptcy. What happens to the debt amount then? This is why you're going to need, this is why you're going to need to really sit down if you file bankruptcy. Most people would think that, and I even thought that you wouldn't have any cancellation of debt issues. So, uh, this is something that I'm going to do a little bit more research on to and make an updated video on that. I have not seen any people who have filed bankruptcy have any issues with cancellation of debt, but this could be some issues if there were certain properties that maybe where they wiped away a certain portion of the real estate you reclaimed, but they discounted the interest charges. They might consider that as income. All right, so I'm going to end the video here. If you I'm going to go back. If you're still dealing with Santander, here is the number to the settlement administrator, and you can give them a call if you haven't received a postcard. And we've had some people that received postcards and they still tried not to honor the settlement. So just because you receive a postcard don't mean that they're going to try to just make it go through smooth. You might still have to end up fighting to get the resolution that you need. And the last update that they're showing here was March 23rd, 2021. So I'm pretty sure that there's some other updates that they're going to need to notify people of. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of the CreditRepairShop.com.